Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. I'm sure everybody out there that's in a medium to large alliance is quite happy with the Shipwrecks event. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Um, and the CM Diary, we'll talk a little bit about that. Then I put the link in the right hand side in case anybody would like to join and talk about whatever you want. So I'll go ahead and introduce everybody from left to right. Magic Mike.
Hello, all. Hope you're having fun.
And Lady Cat.
Hello.
Jeff.
Hello, everybody.
Benjamin.
Hello.
And good morning, Aussie.
Good morning, everybody.
So let's get some housekeeping out of the way, and then we'll get to whatever everybody wants to discuss. As part of the CM Diary, we've got an extended calendar, which we'll talk about in a little bit more detail as far as what some of these things mean. Right now we're in Shipwrecks, and we got the new building content to upgrade our labs. Next week, we're going to see the Siege world map transition, why we are seeing the TLCs for your Shrike and Eradicator. We'll see Pillage. They've removed the Gorgon, but I still think the Gorgon might drop. That was originally scheduled. I'm not sure. I don't see it anywhere else in the calendar, but that would be my guess. The Gorgon is a tier 8 defender. So, and then the quality of life thing, bulk opening of chest. I don't know. And whatever. Anybody have any thoughts on the bulk? Well, I got a slide on that one. So, then the following week we have the June raid. So you can, as far as saving up for the raid, and in the raid we're going to see our next skirmish hall for the next raid. You can spend last FM's tokens, but you want to keep this FM tokens, this set of FM tokens, and then store up on the chest the following week. So you have the maximum number of generic build tokens for building whatever the skirmish hall comes out of the June raid, or whatever you want to do with them. It's just what I do. And then we have VXP weekend is expected. There's another quality of life. They're going to improve the inventory management and bounty, pillage, raid, yada, yada, yada. So anybody have any thoughts on what we're about to see over the next month or so?
Okay, pretty general, isn't it? We seem to be doing a heap every week, so there's not a lot of difference.
Yeah. Okay.
I just hope for the shipwreck event they improve the system.
Yeah. I think we're going to get into that as far as when we talk about shipwreck. I just want to get, yeah. Well, I think I have slides on that. I think it's not broken, but very unbalanced.
Whatever changes they make, I hope they tell us about it sooner rather than later, because people are now planning for the same exact thing for next month. So if there's going to be changes, I think we should know as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next one then. All right. We're already. I meant to put this in a different place, but I guess I didn't. This is what I meant by unbalanced. It's all, the top two tables are associated with what we got, what we were given by Kickside directly. And then below that, I have, for the alliance payouts, I multiply them by 100. I'm just say there can be 100 people in an alliance. Not every alliance has that. Just to show the potential difference as far as the effort or whatnot, as far as the payout associated with the different targets. And as you see, like the personal shipyard versus the high-level alliance shipyard, it's 150% different. So it's it's I don't know. I didn't actually want to get into this. Let's finish up the. Let's come back to this in a minute. Let everybody stew on that one for a bit. We're gonna have HTML5 coming out before the end of Q3. Does anybody have enough web technology, whatever experience, to let us know what that means? Besides the fact that everybody knows that 2020 Flash, which this game is based on, is no longer going to be supported by most browsers or any browsers or whatever's going on. But any changes in like functionality, visual changes, anything that we might expect. Any thoughts?
I know nothing.
Jeff, do you know anything on this or no?
Not anything in any detail. It should run a lot better by far. I mean, most HTML5 games move smoothly.
Okay,
Compared to the lag and memory problems and stuff Flash has, this will be great.
Okay, so yeah, some of that memory leakage might go away and things of that nature.
Yeah, almost nothing really runs on your client, so it's much more on them to make their servers do the thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a mixed blessing potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But throwing servers is a problem. At a problem, it's a lot easier if they're making enough money than throwing code at a problem.
Okay, so we may see everybody experience the same problems as opposed to people with higher performance computers or internet. You know, we may see everybody complaining at once as opposed to certain people complaining and other people say, "Oh, I'm not seeing that at all."
Oh yeah, it'll be much more consistent.
Okay.
And
go ahead, Ben.
I believe it lets them clean up the spaghetti coding they got going for the game now.
Maybe, I don't know.
It depends. The one options they have is to run a converter. All it does is they buy a $300,000 package that converts Flash to HTML5. Then who knows? It'll just convert the spaghetti to lasagna. But
Some Alfredo, please.
Okay. All right. Let's go see what's next. Yeah, the bulk opening chest. Does anybody find this to be something that they would use?
I don't know what it is. I haven't read anything.
Okay, basically, if you have if you have 50 of a certain chest, like like a lot of people have, like High Lord had like, I don't know, 500 of the bacon chest. It allows him to open them all at once.
But you can't, and you're just throwing stuff away.
Yeah. It's I don't see the need for it.
It's a first world problem, as they say.
Yeah. Sort of like people were complaining the fact that they were getting, in the large alliances, they were getting too many pop-ups because of 9,000 points at a time or whatever, all these points they were getting, and they had to click the button once. And I was like, yeah, okay. You don't realize how hard you're trolling some of these people that are in very small alliances or not in alliances, that all you have to do is click a button and you're getting all those points, or they may have to grind for hours just to get them. So yeah, that's some of the other quality of life improvements is it allows your lieutenants. I'm not sure if it's lieutenants or just somebody that is given that role to basically replace the alliance leader. This was put in place for alliance leaders just going AWOL. I don't know if there's any safeties involved with this. I'm not sure if this is going to prevent some alliance leaders from like, okay, I'm getting rid of all these people. I'm just, so I don't get replaced and taken out. So that's one of the quality improvements.
I hope it allows for coups. That'll be funny.
If they do what?
If it allows your lieutenants to have a coup, that'll be quite funny.
Yeah.
It's mutiny on the bounty.
Yeah. It's I may have to kick Raptor's my lieutenant, so you never know what might happen with him. So
I certainly won't let Mike in my alliance now. He's a disruptive type.
Yes. And the other one is they're going to have improvements to the inventory management system. One thing I noticed that I forgot in the system because I was lumping it all in with Siege and whatnot, and it's so old, is I didn't include building damage in there. And I'm hoping they're going to do that. And from what I read, we're also going to have increased search functionality. Like if you want to see everything that has a certain word as a description, you can search on that. The other thing that I asked, and I don't know if it's going to happen, is the addition for a searchability of your tokens. Your build, your VXP, your upgrade, and now your repair specific, hull specific repair tokens. I don't even know how many I have, as far as how many individual listings I have. I'm sure I have thousands upon thousands of actual tokens, but I would hope that something like that might get it added in. I think that would be quite helpful. So, any thoughts on any of the quality of life stuff? Anything you want added?
Just really enjoying that new feature. It's made my ship builds take 10 minutes instead of 2 hours to find everything I was trying to find. I really I hope they keep that going.
Yeah, after all the development that they do for individual special or whatnot, it seems like it would be a minor thing to add in the filtering based on the categories. But I agree. I hope they keep it up and start using the system. So, for me, it was a real pain in the ass because I would have to find specials to put in slides and put on the show. So I did it way more than just building ships. I got frustrated at times trying to sort through all 300 plus, trying to find them. So
it would be nice if they had a level filter as well, just so you can filter out all the old stuff you'll never want to see again.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like a sorting, like a tier, because sometimes you get brand new stuff and you don't know where it is, and it's sort of like, yeah, that would be great too. I would also like to see on the armors, Conquer. That's a simple thing like Conquer and Defender versus PVE. Deflection versus survival. So people know what they have available to put on their Conquerors and versus, it's sort of blocked out, but it would be nice just to see them all in one concise space.
Well, they're doing all these changes to some of these new specials that only work on certain classes of ships. So it would be nice if you could sort by class. So, if you were trying to build an assault ship, click assault and see anything that you can fit on an assault ship.
Yeah, or also something that like we see on our prizes now, where you can click something and everything disappears that you can't use.
Right.
As opposed to having all these grayed out areas all over the place, have that be able to click on that and then make a selection. That would be nice as well.
The only thing is, I wouldn't want it to disappear if the only problem was it didn't stack.
Well, what I'm saying is you could click on them at that point. You know, like have a little, you know, like you know, on the prize list where you can click on the bottom
Right, hide
and it
all.
just removes it from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying permanently remove it, just for that view.
Right.
So, do we have another slide?
Nope.
Okay. Well, let's go back. There was one more thing I want to discuss. They were talking about, and then we want to go back. We're going to want to go back to another slide, but you're still on because I want to talk about the availability of prizes. So if you could go back to the one related to the payouts. But the other thing I wanted to talk about before we got to that was they're talking about changing our bubble pad to make it more easily understood, and also factor in the fact that one of the most powerful things in our base defense is our ships, and the ships are not included in the formula for your bubble pad. So they're trying to work out a solution associated with that. So to prevent it from we can sneak in, snipe out your whole fleet, and you're still at 20%. You're still not bubbled at this point. I think that's what they're trying to accomplish with that, which would be interesting. But does anybody have any thoughts on that before we get back to the shipwreck thing?
Somebody said putting all three of your portals in your bubble pad is essential to making it work. Is that true?
No.
Either that, or you can push a bunch of stuff forward, or you can start. See, the problem is a lot of people deleted pretty much all their towers at one point, and just kept their portals. So they're trying to come up with a system that allows you to design your base with strategy in mind, as opposed to just what's the function of this platform or building or whatnot. Is there a reason I want to throw strategically, besides the bubble pad, is there a reason I want to have all three portals stacked right up at the front? Or can I be able to use it elsewhere? See, that's what they're trying to come to grips with, and I think it's taken them a while. I don't have a good idea as far as how would you still have a quote-unquote bubble pad, but fully utilize the functions of the different buildings.
But isn't it the heavy turrets that skewed it?
It's been skewed it's been skewed on different things for a while. Yeah, it's the heavy turrets, it's the portals, it's a lot of things, but they're looking for and the basic idea is so you don't have your all your ships get your guard get taken out because somebody's able to not hit something and you don't didn't design it correctly or not correctly or what. It's a confusing issue, but I think that's what they're trying to come up with something fairer. I'm not sure that it's going to work, but I think that's the idea behind it.
It sounds like a freak to me.
A freak?
Yeah, messing around with it, not a nerf, but on those kind of lines.
Yeah, I don't think going for a nerf. I just think it's an easy thing to screw up, and the players aren't going to react well to it.
It seems like it should be just fixed by even doing a different mechanism.
Jordy, you keep on cutting out for some reason.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's I'm not sure if it has anything to do with Brexit, but I'm assuming it does. But yeah, Jordy, you're cutting in and out, gone for a minute or so. What were we going to say, Jeff? Hopefully Jordy comes back.
What? Why can't they just it seems like I have everything I can up front now, like every building that'll fit on the first channel, and they still run that channel and all the ships and still won't bubble. So it looks like all they really need to do is add, like do it based on the number of buildings, or not just be the defense of the building, but number of buildings or something easy.
Well, if the number of buildings, yeah, that would make it clearer, but then people are going to build like, they're going to empty the trash in the front yard, basically, and put, oil rigs all over the place and all that stuff just cluttering it.
That's what we also always did, and now it doesn't work anymore. Putting all that trash up front.
Well, it hasn't worked in years because they've never upped the armor on the resource generators and some of the labs, not all of them, but some of the labs.
Isn't that an easy fix then, without screwing things up? Just bump those up.
With this player base, have the potential to get upset. It's not an easy fix. The people were like, okay, this is the way it works, and they're not always great at communicating the way they made the change.
Tinfoil hat. Usually these people are more or less wrecked, even though I'm not bubbled, and then they leave coin and go back in to finish it. Maybe they kind of like the fact that people can go in twice with coins in between.
I don't really think they're going for that. I don't know. I mean, you never know, but they're trying to fix it. And I guess we're not really going to find an answer on this one, but I just wanted to put it out there that that's one of the things they're working on. So, later shows and whatnot, if anybody comes up with a good idea that incorporates everything, because one of the big things is the fact that, I want to reiterate this again, one of the most important parts of your defense is your guard, and damage to your guard is not incorporated into this whole thing. So that's it's part of the system that's just not there. But let's get back to Shipwreck. Personally, I'm in a 3-person alliance, so that's one point. I didn't buy the $19.99 offer to get the Corsair, and even if you did get the Corsair and have a full fleet of them, you are getting, at least the way I see it, the relative payout is, you get 2,000 points versus 300,000 points. I know that's, this is for 100 people. I know it's getting spread around 100 people, but there's also probably, if you have a 100-person alliance, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 people are out hitting targets at, some point during the day. And you've seen what's gone on with the leaderboards, where they've gone insane with the large alliances. And who knows? Do they expect us to, the players that are in smaller alliances or not in alliances, to even bother with these sort of activities?
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, they want the smaller allies not to participate. That's why they gave piss-paying poor replicas.
Triple P, piss-paying poor. So, yeah. And they don't really spawn that often, because I have to search around for them. And then, but even the personal shipwreck, which people are piled up on, you'll see, if you look at one, you'll see 3 or 4 people outside of it. Yeah. And a lot of people we were given the one Corsair. If somebody hits you and knows you have one Corsair, and they're in alliance, they already have 3 for some reason, or they bought it or whatever, they realize by, looking at the locator, okay, that's the guy that has one Corsair, or this is the person that just has, 3 breachers and a howler. I can own these people, so I'm just going to go to the leaderboard and look for these people and steal their crap.
Well, that's what's happened to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I stopped doing them. It wasn't worth it. No. I just lost it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Does that apply to the personal ones too? I thought they were one and done, and you got your points and you left.
Okay. There's two different classes. I'll go through that. Shipwreck targets are fleet versus fleet. You initially have to kill what appear to be little drac ships, like 4 of them, and then you have to wait for, if you see at the top, you get 2,000 points every 5 minutes, and the first two things, it's 5 minutes, and then it times out, and you get 6,000 points at 15 minutes. But those ones can be captured by other players using whatever fleets that they want, as long as they're PvP. The ones below are the shipwreck outposts, which are the old bounty targets. So they're two different. The shipwreck outpost, you kill it, you get the points. But they're the same sort of thing that we've seen in bounty as the your opponent bases.
So people weren't just kicking people out of the alliance ones; they were kicking people out of the personal ones as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, not looking forward to that.
Yeah, and that's the problem. The big alliances, they're the one. That's the problem. There's DCSC in this world, as you know, and they're just kicking ass
Because they got all the good stuff.
Yeah, they just go around killing everything. I mean, as soon as I go into one, when I come out, after the 5 minute, after I've killed the ships, you come out, and there's, like you said, there's ships all around you. They weren't there before. They're just waiting to kill you.
It's
That's
hard.
why, I mean, you exit hot. You've got to exit hot.
You can't exit hot.
There is
You can't exit.
When you leave, you just click straight away, right click, and be gone.
Oh,
no, you don't leave.
okay. They need to come up with better names because both of you guys are sort of confusing them. Jordy's talking about the shipwreck outpost, right? The ones that the bounty targets.
No. I'm talking about the
You
shipwreck.
can't exit the. You can't exit the
When
shipwreck targets.
when you exit, you just bang right click, and you're away, gone.
You can't exit though.
No, but you're exited then on completion.
You got to do it before the banner comes up, though, right?
But they could still hit you.
So you got to be really quick.
Now the yellow rings disappeared. If you've gone in the right place, there's a place to enter. I'm not going to tell everybody, but there's a place to enter the target where you're hidden, and you'll be virtually under the nexus that pops up afterwards when the target finishes. I've never been caught coming out yet, and I'm in the same world as you, Ozzy, right next to you, as you know.
So what you're telling me is there's a glitch where you could actually not be hit,
Well,
and then exiting is your only problem.
I think you can still be hit if while you're holding the target.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you're holding the target, they're coming in and killing you. That's where my problem was.
Right.
It's not at the end. The end's not a problem.
Have you got 3 ships?
No.
That's it. Yeah, that's your problem then.
Yeah. That's the whole issue with the whole thing is that they, at least in my mind, is they never released the ships in the proper manner. They should have released these. They had pillage last week and released all this stuff, as opposed to having a $19.99 offer right before. And anybody that didn't get the $19.99 offer now is forced to hit the outpost or not be able to hold the fleet versus fleet targets. They need to come up with another name because it is, as we're talking about this, a shipwreck target is versus the outpost. They need to call it shipwreck base. They need to call it something, because it's impossible to talk about, as we're seeing, in order to get these things sorted.
Can I just give you an example that's different to what you've just extolled, right? I started the shipwreck event with no new hull. So I was going in with 3 witch doctors and 2 lurkers to start with. Not as many people were getting on it, so I got some points. I earned the points and bought myself a strike, and then earned my points and bought myself another Corsair. So that was 160,000 event points. and I used some saved ship build tokens that I had and some tokens from this week. And that got me a fleet of 3 built after a haul of getting a ton of titanium.
How did you get the points to get all 3?
Hitting targets initially with Conquerors. There wasn't the uptake early on. So
are you talking about the targets? yeah. You're talking about the fleet versus fleet ones, not the bounty ones.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
And there was a whole bunch on the map when it started.
So I got some of them. I even got an alliance one early on with Conquerors. And then as I got nearer and it got busier, I was having to top up the last 2,000 or so by hitting the outposts. Then build a ship. Then I had 2, so that kept me, kind of on an advantage. And I was able at times to beat 3 with 2. Not very, not all the time, but a fair amount of times. And then once I've got 3, which was early hours of this morning, banged in loads of points. Because once you get in the target and you've got down to 3, there's no design difference that's a massive amount between the hulls. It comes down to driving style ability and in some cases calmness under pressure. There's some people that if you rush them, they just go to pieces, and you can pick them apart as they split up and what have you. But it's very much about ability once you've got the 3 ships and driving rather than design and all the rest of it. Beyond that, it comes down to your commitment to coin to maintain it. And while the fleet is relatively cheap to repair at an annoying 3 coins for 1 hour, 2 minutes and 12 seconds for 3 ships, it might as well have been an hour and a half or an hour, but it just goes over to annoy you. But you could, if you kill the people that are attacking you too quickly, you could end up fighting 5 battles for that 1 target. So you could theoretically end up with a 10 gold bill for 1 target.
Yeah, and that's part of the economy that they're flexing one way or another. The number of targets versus the number of points versus the length of that timer.
The biggest annoyance to me, Hefe, was that unlike other events, etc., if you win the combat, you have the option to repair in target. Yeah?
Yeah.
And what was happening, apparently they fixed it. I haven't tried them today. But what was happening was that you would hit repair and another player that was waiting outside would hit you. And you would be charged for the repair. Your fleet would be at full health. But it would say docked in shipwreck. The target would light up. You'd get no notification your fleet was in combat and no option to join it, even if you refreshed and relogged. And I spoke personally to Golden Doodle about that and sent him screenshot. He said they were going to get onto it ASAP. I've had an answer back saying it's been resolved and a considerable amount of gold for my ticket, because I was explaining to him, I'm losing 5 gold per 5 minutes here at this rate.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an annoyance. And likewise, I think the red ring probably has to go.
Because?
Well, you are attackable at any point in the red ring. So you slow down as you approach into it.
Yes.
And you can then be intercepted when you're driving. So a big alliance can have 1 guy in the target and 3 or 4 sitting outside, just hitting you one after the other. Now, I'm not adverse to that, and I'm capable of winning the combat there, that they engage me in. But what occurs afterwards is I would be beating a fleet of 3 with my fleet of 3. You return to map. You try to repair, but before you can repair, you're engaged straight away. So your then depleted fleet of 3 is meeting a full health fleet of 3, and then you're dead. And if you try and repair in the red circle to carry on fighting, the same reoccurs. So you have to then let your fleet begin returning to base to be able to repair it outside the red thing, so you're not jumped.
Okay.
So I think that's a little bit problematic. Like I say, I've got no issue with being jumped. It's a fleet v fleet event. I'm all there for the fight, and I'm a fairly capable driver. I can hold my own, so I don't mind the challenge of that. But it's not much of a challenge when you're not given the option to have a fair challenge, if you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. And there's several ways it's not fair. Oh, go ahead.
No, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought it was.
You mentioned about 3 different ways. It's not fair all in one time. And it's really all of them need re-examined. But one of them's on purpose. I won't say which one.
Yeah, if like for you, Hefe, you're doing the replicas, and
FA's muted at the minute.
oh, well, like if you're doing the replicas and you're using breachers, you're sailing to a replica, you happen to go through one of them red rings, you get jumped. And that's
funny. I hadn't noticed that happening.
it's an expensive repair bill.
Yeah.
You know,
Well-
I mean, initially, it wasn't just in the red rings. Anybody that had a Conqueror fleet on the map, people went batshit crazy.
yeah,
They still are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say they because I did it as well. Well, a guy came in with three of the Corsairs and blew my one Corsair away. So I looked where he'd hit me, and his fleet of 5 Howlers were outside his base. So I sent my one Corsair and sank all 5. Vengeance is sweet and swift.
Well, the snipers are happy because they get to snipe again.
Oh, it brings out a whole new set of problems as to how bounty's going to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because as soon as people put one of those on their base guard externally, you can't guarantee it's not being manned.
you can't put interceptors as base guard.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
On the outside of your base, yes, you can.
Not supposed to be able to.
Well, you can.
You can. That's what I thought too, but I was told I was wrong. They are
So
looking at it though. They may change that.
So if it stays like that, if it stays like that for bounty, you could well have to send an interceptor fleet to clear an interceptor fleet off the target. And once that's done, anybody can be hanging about under a base and get in and steal the bounty hit before you've got a chance to get your baser in, and it increases the chance of your baser getting sniped by somebody else in their ally with a Corsair fleet or what have you. So it should make bounty very interesting. There'll certainly be. There was a couple of allies near me last bounty that every base had a base guard on it, and
My sector is filled with interceptors as base guards now because of the. It's convenient when you think about it, because even not during bounty, now they have to clear that out before the Conqueror can get in. So that gives you your doorbell, as somebody called it last time.
Yeah.
It gives your doorbell a really nice long warning period.
Yeah. Well, if they come in with Corsairs and you've got a strike, you can run them a merry dance for a good long while without having to even engage in a combat. Just because of the speed difference.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many people protect their base by just doing that.
Yeah.
Because that's the answer to bounty being hit during bounty is you just throw one of those on there, lead everybody for a merry chase, and just keep them out.
Well, because these fleets can snipe the Conqueror fleets, anybody that's out during bounty is going to be at risk.
Oh yeah.
Even if you're like me, I mean, what I would do is auto the lower level bases with breachers and do like 4 or 5 at a time. And I won't be able to do that with all these.
No.
Yeah, they're going to snipe me because I can't watch 4 or 5 at the same time.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm surprised about. I have 4 or 5 out there, and nobody's sniped me yet.
Well, I was about to say that happened to me yesterday. I had 3 breaches out, 1 in each target, and I was watching one because it was a higher level one because I wanted to go in it just to make sure there wasn't any heavy turrets because I've noticed some have had heavy turrets in them. So I just went in there, had a look at it, and I thought, oh, well, I mean, I'll just watch it finish, autoing. I come out and I'm thinking, hey, where's the 3rd one gone? And it's in my base, dead. And I go, okay, because that one I didn't watch. I'm thinking maybe it had a heavy turret in there and killed it off. Looked at the battle log and it got hit by a Corsair and a strike frigate. No chance.
And
Guy
that's
says, I was just testing it, and I said, well, it wasn't really much of a test.
Nice test.
Two of the most powerfulest PvP holes against one breacher.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, not really, I suppose.
There's going to be more and more of that soon.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not entirely sure that's their intent either.
No, but the people doing it are having fun. And if Kix hears that they're having fun, they
I don't
might.
think they care about fun. They're going to care about whether we then coin that ship back and keep playing, or do we go home for the night? Because
Well, I don't coin my repairs. They're dead. They sit there and they repair slowly. That's it.
Yeah, and if everybody does that, then the fun factor will be over pretty quick.
Let me just say this: there was quite a lot of players that were having fun using subs to snipe people.
Yeah.
Certain groups of people were opposed to it. But those same people, or the people in general, with three of the new.
Well, the only way they could get out of it is the interceptors class can only hit interceptor class, and tier 7s can only, or tier 8s hit tier 8s.
You can't do that at the minute because.
No, I'm just saying that's the only way to stop the ones with the Corsairs going around killing everyone's tier 8.
Yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but what it leads to is the functionality of Shipwreck.
No, I'm not talking about Shipwreck in itself. I'm just talking in general.
Yeah, but if you do that, then you rule out the Conquerors being able to take Shipwreck. Because people then wouldn't be able to engage a Shipwreck held by a Conqueror. See?
Which eventually is going to happen. I think what Aussies eventually people aren't going to interact with the target, the shipwreck target with that with a tier 8 regular Conqueror. They'll only do it with the interceptors. I think more the issue that Aussie's talking about is like what's going to happen with like bounty and regular base hitting and things like that. Is that what you're trying to get at, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I fully agree with him. It's just the point that the functionality at the minute would mean that would exclude many a player from taking part in Shipwreck.
Well, they could then only use the tier 8s just in the replica bases.
Which is no good for people that want to get points quickly.
Yeah, but I didn't find it was useful to hit the shipwreck targets at all with Conqueror.
If you hit them,
I don't know why they didn't do that in the first place. It's just make
if you hit
the outpost only for Conquerors and the they have to change these names. The shipwrecks for these new hulls, then they could have not had this problem.
Well, you can't hit the outpost or the replica base is with the interceptors anyway. So why didn't?
Yeah, they just should have done the same thing in the opposite
Yeah,
direction.
Right.
because the thing is, you use your tier 8s in the shipwreck ones, not the outpost, and they're going to get killed every time.
Well,
Someone's going to hit them with a Corsair and it's going to die. You've lost it anyway.
This is what links. Well, I've watched the opposite happen today. One of my allies was in an A3 alliance target with 3 howlers and 2 breachers, and he beat a Corsair and got us all 3,000 points. Watched it live. So it can be done. Again, that was down to skill. The other driver having no spine and not committing, and then the NPC fleets kept coming in, and they increased in strength, and they whittled him down. Yeah, but the guy won. The guy won with conquerors. As I said before, I got my leg up to be able to get the next 2 ships by using conquerors. It goes back to Hefe's point, which is quite correct. It was the way they released the ships.
Well,
Means because they were only available to everybody who didn't want to spend $20 in the event itself, they had to allow people a chance to win it, which meant allowing the conquerors the ability to go into the target. So that's where the error lies, in my opinion.
I had decided I'm not going to buy the fleet when I seen it because, you know, they gave us one. I figured one would be all right to start with. But if they wouldn't have given us that one, I wouldn't have any of them.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't.
And you have a max of 6, just so we get that out of the way. You have a max of 6 of each of the Corsair and the missile one. You have the frigate.
Yeah.
So you can go over 3. I'm curious what's going to happen with STS-7, because I'm assuming that a lot of these people have 4 at least already, if not 6, and now they're getting prizes for that would send them over the top, but who knows? Has anybody tried what I've seen people do it, I've seen people do it, you know, as a observer. Has anybody tried what I described before this event happened, where you have one person hit a target, a target. Should we just change the name now? You know,
just call them shipwreck and outpost.
Yeah, that's the easiest thing to do. Shipwreck and outpost.
Okay. You hit a shipwreck. I hit a shipwreck, and then I have Jordy come in and hit with his 3 basilisks, or I'm sorry, Corsairs, or whatever he has. He hits the target, locks me up for 5 minutes. They're going to launch new ships. One of us needs to kill him with staying out of range of the other one, and sort of lock the target for 5 minutes at a time, and just keep on doing that. They do come out. They sort of take out the trash. They launch new fleets, but from what I've seen, they're not that difficult to kill if you have the interceptors. Anybody follow what I'm saying?
Well, they get increasingly tougher the longer the combat stays, and more come. I've had some prolonged combats where we've had 3 or 4 NPC fleets live at any one time. That was a guy who tried to attack me with 2 lurkers when I was holding the target. And
Okay.
I just sat off, and he had about 15 or 20 of them around shooting at him. They weren't.
If you do it the way Hefe's saying, there's 2 fleets in there. There's 2 players in there. They're going to take those fleets out pretty quick.
No,
They just don't shoot at each other.
the NPC fleets start at
The top.
or the bottom, depending which target you're in.
Yeah. Well,
So-
you just have the 2 players just sit out of range of each other.
Yeah.
And
But
then when the NPC fleets come up, they just kill them.
Well, as I say, they get tougher and tougher.
Yeah, but you've got two fleets.
Yeah,
They're going to kill them pretty quick, no matter what.
You don't necessarily go to both fleets, man. Yeah. I've seen somewhere a fleet of 5 will split 3 to one and 2 to another, but in the majority of cases, they go to the closest fleet to them, and that's it.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying if both players just sit outside of each other's range, so they don't shoot at each other, or if they got 3 Corsairs each, face to face. That way, if the ships come from the top, the side cannons are going to be shooting at them straight away. If they come from the bottom, the other cannons are going to be shooting at them.
Right, I don't know how else to explain is that they don't always split up, and they can go to one fleet, and they get tougher and do more damage. So, to get to the end of my point is one player is probably going to take damage.
But how much damage?
Maybe not a lot.
Killed, right?
Yeah. But it's still, when you come out, it's only probably relevant doing it if you're doing it for the last session. Because of what FA was saying earlier about people queuing up, waiting their turn to jump in, they're going to have the opportunity to jump in before you get the chance to re-engage. Yeah?
In the alliance targets or in the... I'm more for the personal targets.
For both.
But it might be even more advantageous to the alliance targets because they know not to attack that person. You know, whoever's coming in, they're like, okay, we're not attacking Jimmy, who's from a different alliance, who's going to come and hit this target while we have everybody from our alliance out there guarding within the contested waters.
Right. So if your ship, right, there's you, there's me. You're in the target. I've just done that. I've popped out, and there's 3 guys from another alliance there. That leaves one of them to engage me immediately, and one to engage the target, and one on guard. Before I've had the chance to re-engage the target to protect you. Yeah, and what's happening at these alliance targets is that once you enter, even showing that you're heading towards it, one of them will hit you. So you'll have had to avoid it. You'll have had to have driven into the target from a certain direction so they can't click on you. But even then, it's going to be unlikely that you can select and attack the target before anybody waiting to attack the target while you were in the combat. While they're waiting, it pops up and they can click straight in because I've stolen them like that off people. And if you're in quick enough, the guy in the target hasn't even repaired if he's taken any damage from the NPC or the other player.
Okay.
So it could work, but not if you've got people that are determined, that are there waiting. It's not going to work. Sorry.
No, I'm not sure what you're sorry for, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's why I was more suggesting it for the personal targets. Then you're not going to have as many people determined to get them. Yeah.
The first day, I had 2 ships in the target. A guy who bought the 3-ship deal from an alliance hit me in a target with his 3 ships, and I said to him, you know, just a question: why are you hitting the personal targets and fighting for them when you could be fight? You know, at this time there's an advantage because you got 3 ships. Why aren't you fighting for the alliance targets that would pay you more in points and give them to all your alliances? I don't really understand it. Can you explain? So he'd spent the $20 and he didn't even understand the mechanic he was playing for. So there's people out there. I'm having to tell my own alliance that haven't read it. You know, are you getting they're saying to me, are you getting the points for the ones I'm winning? Are you hitting the alliance ones marked 8? I don't know. I'm just hitting what's there. So that's why there's competition. People don't understand the difference, the benefits of each. And of course, as you say, there's people out looking for the easy hits as well.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, because you can get tracked by name if you've lost in the way the locator works.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing, I wish I'd taken a screenshot of that. I think it's the next to the far right column, or it might be the far right column, is the distance from, I assume, your base. Why can't we get this somewhere else? Why can't we get this for the FM? Why can't we get this for everything?
Yeah, that'd be great.
In nanometers, isn't it?
Or I thought it was nautical miles, but yeah.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, nanometers would be, you might be playing on your, your little Apple phone, but yeah. I was assuming it was nautical miles, but yeah.
Yeah, you'd be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave it to Kix to mix the formula because they have MPH on other graphics, so it's nautical miles and miles mixed together.
Yeah. So,
I should have always used nautical miles anyway.
Yeah. I mean, or just miles would be fine, but yeah, nobody would know what it meant. But because then don't we have to go to knots?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought it was 35 with number of knots.
Yeah.
It is an ocean game after all.
Yeah. Well, simplify some of the stuff. Yeah, I would just go with miles per whatever.
Well,
so
some people are just learning what aft means. So
yeah.
Well,
Somebody said to me, "Oh, you mean the AFT cannon?" They said it didn't say it only fired in one direction.
Well, it was complicated. That's one of the reasons I did the slides from last time because I'm like, there's no description that it just fires from the rear.
They should have called it the ass cannon.
Yes. Then people would have been, there might be something different about this because they haven't included anything else. But yeah, ass cannon might have been a good idea.
That's certainly a better player terminology to use.
Yeah. I don't see it happening anytime soon, but post it on Discord. We'll create a poll.
Yeah, I wish they had a bow chaser though.
So, all right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't really have because I'm sort of. Well, I guess one question I still have left for everybody is, we still have the slide up of the, the top part is firm member, and then I translated it. I made a suggestion at one point to make the personal 10 times as much as the alliance one, because I'm biased in my own way, because it would still pay out 15 times more, the high level alliance, even if it was, if the personal shipwreck was worth 2,000 and the alliance high level was worth 300, it would still have a payout 15 times more than the personal one. I think that's probably an extreme way to look at it. Has anybody put any thought to how to balance this in some way that
you haven't really mentioned it, but 800 points is 1/3 of a personal, and if you can hit even just three outposts at a time, and hardly anybody steals them from you, so it's you can get points a lot faster off the outposts than you can.
It really depends on the spawn rate and where you are, because I've run into the problem of now I need to spend 4 minutes searching to find one that's close to me, or just send it for a minute and a half, and maybe somebody else is going to hit it. As long as you can get the I should explain that the 800s. The way I see them at this point is below 80 is always 400. Between 80 and 85 is mostly 400s, but there's some 800s thrown in there. Above 85 is 800s. I have yet to hit one of these that has the heavy turrets in it, right?
They appear once in a while, but Blue Moon.
I haven't seen one yet. Even hitting the hundreds.
To be honest, I've never seen what killed me. I just all of a sudden have a red ship.
Okay.
And I stay in the 88s to 89s mostly, so I'm presuming it either got stuck and went in circles or there was an HT in one of them.
Yeah, I've had the same problem, but at the time, they were just stopping. When I did go into watch, my ships were stopping. They weren't doing like what they're supposed to do on auto, so they could have been just sitting there taking damage.
Yeah, and that's probably more likely, actually.
I've
have HT in there.
I've had that happen where they sit there spinning.
Yeah, I've looked at some and I'm just sort of sitting there, and that's because that's one of the issues with the outposts that I've run into, because I've been running a single breacher in there, and a lot of the times it takes me more than 5 minutes. I have to go and hit the same target again.
I was just hitting an 84 then, and my ships had finished the battle, so I was just going to go to the next target, and there was a target right next to my ship, so I just hit it and I viewed it, and there was one outside building left to do.
Yeah,
got all the way in and missed, and there was one target. There was still one, so it was the same target I was just hitting.
Yeah, that happens a lot where you get all the way to the center, but
Aussie's stealing my targets.
Am I?
I'm just kidding. No,
I just hit that one. It was still outside it.
It does happen all the time, unintentionally stolen targets, because you time out and you're sitting outside of it, and now it's back on the locator again, and somebody takes the outer 3 little things and gets your points. That happens to me about 3 times an hour.
I did that yesterday a few times. I went in, and there was no ships next to them. There might be 80 something, so I always just view them, just to have a quick look, and then jump back out. And there was only like outside buildings, and I'm thinking, okay, well, there's no one outside it, so I'll just take it.
Just don't do what I do. I assume that the building I'm right beside is the same target but every once in a while it's a 125 or whatever, and I'm dead. It happened. It wasn't just the 3 outside ones; it was a brand new target.
Yeah, that's why I view some of them, depending on the level. The
other trick I did that really helps is you bring in like the old witch doctors or something as a second ship. You just have to get them started. You let the main ship go on auto, and then send the witch doctor around the outside to pick up the trash.
Yeah, but if you're just sending them in on auto, you can't be bothered. You don't want to go into every one.
Might be faster than having to go and find out if it's needs cleaning up.
Yeah.
Or having it stolen.
It's not very often. It's only here and there. One every, 40 or 50, I'll have to go back in. Not 40 or 50, but 10 or 20 or something.
Yeah.
You're still going to have to be hitting 10, aren't you, to equate to 1 personal shipwreck?
Yeah, if somebody can just sit out there, wait till the last second, take it out, you get nothing. And
well, no, because you got 2,000.
You should get 2,000 just for getting the target. You should get.
You do, don't you?
No, you get nothing for just winning the target initially.
Okay.
Which is why you see people trying to wait till 4 minutes 39 seconds or whatever, so that by the time they beat the NPC, they're guaranteed the first payout, rather than going in at one, you know, one.
In bounty, even though I've only lost maybe 2,000 points every day to a hit from unsecured bounty, I'd rather be in a bubble and not lose anything. Same with these. I'd hate to hit things and having it stolen. It would just irritate me, and I wouldn't want to play anymore. I don't know why.
That's why I stopped hitting them.
It's psychological. What's that?
That's why I stopped hitting them. Hitting the shipwreck targets.
Yeah.
Because I just lost it every time. So what's the point?
Yeah. It's a battle of coins at this point, which is
and
kind of not.
I don't coin my repairs, so there's no point.
And that's the kind of the consensus everybody's getting, is this is just another battle of coins. The alliance aspects are bad, but the fact that a coiner always wins is worse.
It doesn't always mean that an alliance wins, though. You can take on a big alliance if you're in defense of those targets and beat them if the mechanics are working well, if you're prepared to spend the coin.
Well, that's what I just said, though. I mean, if you're prepared, I pride myself in spending as little money as possible in the game.
Yeah. Well, that's what you just said. If you can coin it, you're going to win every time. If
Exactly.
you can keep coining, right?
Yeah.
I don't coin my repairs, so I'm going to lose every time.
Yeah, but what I said was, but it isn't about the alliance winning.
I didn't say that. I said
No, that's what I said. That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
You know,
I agree with you.
there's a
I just
certain-
think coin trumps alliance, alliance trumps single player.
yeah, well, but single player
Coin
with
and
coin,
alliance trumps single player.
single player with coin in defense with skill can trump alliance,
Okay, then I have that.
which has its own very, or even player from smaller alliance on his own can beat 3 or 4 people guarding a target from a bigger alliance.
So what you just said is coin trumps all.
Yeah, it does. It does, but there's an advantage to being in defense as to attacking in certain targets,
Right.
just because of the way the terrain's laid out. It's a leveler in that sense. And you do get people that will stupidly coin, and then they'll sail away disgruntled,
Is it really down to the point where 2 people can just be head to head and just keep spending coin back and forth, and
No,
Kicksat being the only winner?
no, because if you both die in a target while the target's still live, it stays there, and the NPCs go again. And if there's anybody waiting, they can dive in, kill the NPCs, and if it's in the 3rd phase, take the lot. I know, I've done it. Yeah, 2 guys killed each other at exactly the same time. Bang.
Can't one of them? Oh, you mean if they actually die? But that's a rare case. If they're
No, yeah, I'm just saying it's.
Except for the ships are built so similar. It's not. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jordy.
No, I was just going to say it happens. It seems to happen, or look more likely to happen, with the strike cruisers, which only have that narrow firing arc to the front.
Okay. Do we have much more left for the live show?
Not
That's your
I.
answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, somebody wants to join us.
Yeah. We can
Why, you coming
accommodate a
apart?
couple more if anybody wants. You could join for the after show. Anybody watches it later, what do we name these targets? Because shipwreck target is not working. Target should never be the part of the name of a target.
I think just shipwreck and outpost was good. Simple.
Yeah. Opponent bases. Same as bounty. Why not?
somebody suggested calling them replica bases.
Yeah. I'm just looking, I'm just seeing what the best one is, and people want to comment on stuff. That's always good. So
We should have a contest.
Well, they're called opponent bases in bounty. They don't have to change anything.
Question to you guys: Are any of you getting like these long pauses where engaging them just won't work?
Yeah. Well, I was.
they fixed that according to are you still getting that, or were you getting that historically?
Last night was the last time I saw it.
Okay, yeah, Peter, who's one of the engineers, he went and said that that's been fixed. I'm not sure what the problem was, but yeah, that was an issue for a lot of people.
It was bad.
So in theory, that's been fixed. I haven't been having any issues. My main issues is finding targets. So
Yeah, well, that's the problem I was having with the FM as well, and then I also had it with the with this event as well, up until last night or yesterday afternoon, last night before I went to bed. But I don't seem to be having any problems today.
Okay.
Since I've been on, anyway.
Yeah, and I'm sure this event is working out quite well for Tixeye in the near term, the short term, because people are willing to coin everything back, and this is probably working out quite well for them. So, okay, Michael keeps on asking. On Wednesday's show, he brought up the fact that in the FM, one of the prizes was the Inferno Dragon and upgrade tokens, not the kits, were put in there, but the armor was not in there. They put the armor in and then they took out the tokens. So, yeah,
that was very mean, Tixeye.
Yes, that was mean, but I don't know. I've had good luck with. I think I put 3 or 4 specials on my Praetorian. About 5 rockets and 1 of each anti, and I can auto and instant repair on the map with 1. So I'm not really sure how much more time investment I'm going to put into my dragons if it just takes 1 to do that. I just ran out of stuff to do with the Praetorians, to be honest. So if you have the ability, I might transition over to a single Praetorian. I wouldn't build it to the max. I have no armor on it. I have nothing like that. Just do a minimal build and just go ahead and auto them. I think this is going to go away after the next raid. I think we're going to see some changes. Just because this is too easy. Not that I have any inside knowledge. It just seems too, they're not going to let us get away with this.
They're going to have to be careful now because we're about to start building a new FM ship. And if they take them away too fast and make us make a choice, there's not going to be a lot of happy campers making a choice between FM and Raid.
Yeah, my hope is that in Pillage we're going to have more people able to get the Praetorian and the technology. So we'll see.
It is a nice glory-filled days, these autoing 120s.
Yeah, it's not bad. So, all right. Well, I'm going to end the show. And again, anybody that has any great ideas for what to call the shipwreck targets, something inventive, something that catchy that Kixeye might like, I'll message somebody, and I'm curious to see what what people have to say. So, I guess good night, everybody, and I'm gonna post the link for a last time, and proceed to the after show. So, later, everybody.
Later, everyone.
Bye.
Later.